Ah, March. What an awful time for the world, but a great time for games. 3 incredible games all being released around the same time. And Doom Eternal, I now put that in my top 5 games of all time. And now I'm already loving Final Fantasy VII. We have Cyberpunk 2077 coming out in the future. Oh yeah, and Resident Evil 3 came out. You guys remember that? You guys remember when everyone was excited about that? Resident Evil 3. More like, don't waste your money on this stupid ass game. 3. I was very disappointed in this game. I was going into this with so much excitement, only to be deep-throated like Jill did by that weird-ass bug creature. Did I just witness a hentai chat?
I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty freaking hot.
Honestly, from the get-go, from the beginning of the game, nothing really bothered me. You know, regular puzzles, regular zombies, everything checked out. Then the layers started peeling off, and then I realized how bad this game actually was. The textures were buggy. The puzzles held your hand so much that I finished multiple puzzles and I didn't even realize I did a puzzle. I felt like nothing in the game was an actual threat to me. One of the coolest looking creatures in the game was quickly turned into a laughable mutated frog that you one-shot with a rocket launcher. Nemesis was intimidating for all of 2 seconds the moment he walks out. That is the only time he is intimidating. Boy, oh boy, chat, what I would do right now for a nice Kool-Aid. He doesn't hold a candle to Mr. X in any way. I know it's unfair to compare Resident Evil 2 to 3, but I mean, come on. Come on, guys, really. But you only get a few really small moments where you actually have to run from Nemesis or even care that he actually exists. Oh, get fucking dodged! The rest of the time you see Nemesis is really stupid boss fights. Oh, now you have a flamethrower. What? Because Nemi Wemi, who is a mutated dude with super strength, super speed, couldn't do anything to Jill. Then after he couldn't do anything, he's like, you know what, fuck it. I'll try a flamethrower. Maybe that'll work. Nope, didn't do anything to Jill. Then he's like, fuck it. Let's use a goddamn rocket launcher. A rocket launcher. You know what, fuck it. Let's make an Indiana Jones reference real quick. Actually, while I'm at it, let me turn into a really fast super dogfish thing. And you guessed it, nothing happens to Jill. Except after all of those different ridiculous things, Nemesis decides to just shoot a little poison dart into her, and that made her pass out. Now, I want everyone to know that I completely understand that Resident Evil is not really what you would consider to be a normal storytelling game. You know, everything is exaggerated. Everything's supposed to be ridiculous. Always give the character insane plot armor because obviously they're in a zombie apocalypse fighting huge-ass zombies. So they're gonna do that. But the problem I have with this game is it's not full-on action. It's a weird mix of they're trying to be Resident Evil 2 where it's more spooky and less actiony and more atmospheric. But then at the same time, you have these insanely huge, ridiculous, laughable boss fights that just don't fit in with what they were trying to do. And during my stream of this game, a lot of people told me this was meant to be a more actiony game. So this is either the dullest action game I've ever played in my life or the most ridiculous spooky game I've ever played in my life. It just could not decide what it wanted to be. In this game, you go through a few different small areas. There's Raccoon City, there's the sewers, and then you're in the police station of Resident Evil 2, kind of a cameo thing they had. Some people call it a cameo. I call it lazy. But the only area that stood out of all of them, the only one that had good atmosphere, that kept me a little bit suspenseful, was the police station from Resident Evil 2, which was a recycled area. Not to mention, they still fucked that up because there's buggy textures in that same area. If there's one thing that's good about Resident Evil, is that suspenseful atmosphere. They always do a good job at making everything feel really suspenseful and spooky, and you're wanting to know what's around the corner. But this, I just didn't care. They basically recycled all of the enemies except a couple. One enemy that looked really cool, which ended up kind of not being a threat because you end up just shooting him with a grenade launcher. And then other enemy who I call Stinky Winky because the only thing that he does is absorb a load of bullets. He just takes a lot of bullets and lets off a steamy stench. That's it. There's nothing else. He just walks around and he stinks. And he's annoying. Also, this character right here, If you played the game, you know who he is. I'm not going to spoil what he does or who he is, but fuck this guy. He makes no sense. His motivations are completely confusing. Everything about this character is dumb and poorly written. 1 out of 20. Fuck you. Oh yeah, forgot. Just a little note. 5 hours. No, 5 hours is not the time that it took for me to get past the first area. 5 hours is how long it took for me to beat the entire game. Yes, I know I am considered one of the best speedrunners of all time, but actually, no. I did not speedrun this. In all honesty, I feel like I went really slow because the game was so boring. I kind of stopped paying attention and forgot to save a couple times and had to redo things like 2 or 3 times. And it was mostly my fault. It was just me being neglectful and honestly just not caring too much about the game. But yes, I flubbed up a couple times, forgot to save, and had to run through an entire map like twice. And it still only took 5 hours to beat the game. $60 for a 5-hour game with 0 replayability. Oh yeah, and apparently there's a multiplayer, and I've heard that people are enjoying it. But that's going to be a no from me. I would rather play a game that is actually a good multiplayer game, like this, or this, or this. I give Resident Sleeper 3 a 5 out of 10. Never buy again. I'm only giving it a 5 because of Carlos. Oh, I love Carlos. Oh, my love. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to watch me stream Final Fantasy VII, please go to my Twitch stream right now because I'm probably going to be playing it right now.